Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me, the only horror movie review podcast that knows these two words, buyer beware. Before we bring on Carly and Brooke, let's see what we're looking at tonight.
Tonight we review Night Swim. Night Swim is a 2024 American supernatural horror film written and directed by Bryce McGuire in his feature directorial debut, and based on the acclaimed 2014 short film by Blackhurst and Bryce McGuire. The film stars Wyatt Russell and Kerry Condon. In Night Swim, Ray Waller, a former Major League Baseball player forced into early retirement by degenerative illness, moves into a new home with his concerned wife Eve, teenage daughter Izzy, and young son Elliot. Secretly hoping against the odds to return to pro ball, Ray persuades Eve that the new home's shimmering backyard swimming pool would be fun for the kids and provide physical therapy for him. But a dark secret in the home's past will unleash a malevolent force that will drag the family under into the depths of inescapable terror.
My God, I'm so afraid. Welcome back, Brooke and Carly. Hello. Hey, I know who picked this film, and that person would be me. And I know before we signed off last week, there was a little fisticuffs between Brooke and I about how we feel about this film. So I'm going right to Brooke for what she thought about this film.
Man, I wanted to know what you thought, but okay.
Yeah, I go last.
So I hated this film. Didn't like it.
Why?
No, I didn't like it.
Why?
So I couldn't. Okay, so I wrote down why I didn't like it. So I didn't like the storyline. It was like predictable, and it was lacking originality, and I just couldn't connect with the character. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But I did like the imagery of when, I don't know if we can give it away, but when she was in the water and like how she went. I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
So, without
Are
giving
you
it
talking
away,
about?
like
Are you talking about the effect that was very much like Get Out?
Yeah. Like
Yes,
that.
okay.
I like that part.
Yeah, that was actually exactly what reminded me of, like, that kind of, you're way too deep.
Yeah.
And all you see, yeah. So I got that. Well, now we know who hates it. But Harley, what do you think?
Well, I did not hate it. I loved the family dynamic that they had in there. I like the fact that they made you care about the characters first before anything shitty started happening. To pardon my language, there I go again. Before anything started happening to them, you cared about them and their whole relationship. I loved that, and the reveal of what is happening was phenomenal. I loved that. I was really pissed off at Rebecca's mother, but for good reason. That was horrifying. I mean, but I was telling you, some of the effects, some of the monsters or whatever, like the one that came up during Marco Polo, I giggle snorted when I saw that. It was fantastic.
I didn't see it. Where was it at? Was it
behind her?
Behind her? I didn't see it. I missed that part.
In the montage at the beginning.
Yeah. It was like a big, bloaty, big eye, goopery looking doughboy kind of. Actually, kind of looked like the Pillsbury dough. I did. That's all you do is touch his belly. You go. I agree. I will say it is tropey, but I kind of dug it because it reminded me of The Shining and it reminded me of Annabelle Horror in the way that it's just another ghost story or spirit story where somebody's going to get something they think they want or being told they want at the expense of either one person, the whole family. You know, Annabelle Horror is going to kill the whole family. Shiny is supposed to kill his whole family, and they're going to get what they want out of it. Whereas the person who's getting their wish fulfilled thinks that they're doing all right, and everything is secondary to that. I agree that the family kind of setting up the family dynamic was good. It wasn't prolonged because some movies, and I know Brooke is going to hate me for this, but in movies like Insidious, it seemed like this setup of the family dynamic just kind of was so long-winded. It's like I could have got all that very, very quickly, which I thought I got in this film. I'm not a big fan of Ray, but I understood. But as a quote unquote, as a ball player, where that's the only thing he knows how to do, I can understand how giving that up or having to give that up is like the only thing you know, the only thing you love, the only thing you think you're good at. Why you would be presented with a moral dilemma, if you will, as a result. Yeah, I dug it. I didn't love it. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread or sliced cinema. But I will tell you that for me, it was surprisingly good, especially after Brooke said how bad it was.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
She's like, I just didn't. I couldn't. I mean, but yeah, Brooke, you just admitted that you didn't remember seeing the big blobby thing in the pool. So are you sure you weren't just like
I watched it twice and I still missed it.
Are you sure you're watching the right night swim? Maybe that's the problem.
No, I watched the right one.
Okay. All right. It wasn't that problem again. Okay, that's good. I would say that it was surprisingly better than I thought. It did well in the theater. $15 million budget, $60 million take. It was the first collaboration between Blumhouse and Atomic Monster, where those production companies came together, distribution companies. So that's James Wan and Michael Blumhouse. Bloom, I think. I forget his name is. But they're great in horror. That's what they do. And so this was not a terrible collab for them. I have a question. Do the people remember losing somebody?
It seems like it seems like they're forgotten until someone's like really pushing it in their face.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like she's like, I don't have a daughter.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering whether that she knew she did, or she was, covering up that the fact she knew she did and why that daughter no longer exists.
I thought she was a shitty mom.
Interestingly enough, that whole scene was super weird to me when Eve went to go confront the former owners. So I was like, man, that woman's weird. But if you think about the context of the cultural significance of the mother, who, in Asian culture, the son is the one that needs to be the one that makes all the things happen, super, super proud, and the daughters are secondary to the sons. So the idea that in the preamble, the son was sick and then the magic of the pool saved the son, you could see why that mother was desperate for that son to make something of himself and how she's so proud. Look at that big mural on the wall. I live in this gorgeous house.
Yeah, how he's taking care of her now.
Yeah. I wonder if the son even knew.
The water there. She had the water there.
Yeah.
Coming through.
Which was creepy too. I was like, did you take some of the spring water and you brought it with you so you can drink? Because that's the one thing I didn't understand in that kind of second act is what was the deal? Is that woman now possessed with that water because she was like inky, or was it? So there was a couple things I wasn't. Huh?
I thought it did possess them, didn't it?
Well,
like
it
possessed Ray.
Yeah, it possessed Ray. But I thought it was always a person that was kind of getting the thing happening to them. So why would the mother be, the mother of Rebecca had the inky eyes. So there were some things that were a little like not so sure what the deal was. Overall, I enjoyed it. That's just my take.
Yes.
And because Brooke hates it so much, I think we should go right into our favorites. Because even though I know Brooke was like, man, you must have had one part that you liked.
Yeah, I did have a favorite. My favorite was when she did go visit the mom and the ink was running out of her face or whatever. And she told the story of how she sacrificed her daughter, which I still think she was a shitty mom for doing that. But,
oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
That was my favorite part.
Okay. I mean, it's so creepy, though. The mother, the actress who played the mother, super, super creepy. I just saw the picture of the IMDb. I'm like, man, they played that woman old, and the person does not look old at all. But she's just so weird and maniacal and like, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, dude, just bring it down, down a little bit. Don't scare off your guests. And they're like, wow, there's something seriously wrong with you. How about you, Carly?
I enjoyed the pool party, and when Ray had Ty on his shoulders and wouldn't let go. That was very
because that's something that like happens for real. Yeah, I mean that's almost like it was terrifying because it could happen.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And if somebody doesn't like go, oh yeah, the sores or the bruising on legs, I tell you what. Now
watching him struggle because he got pulled underwater. It's like, man, I was sure he was dead, but nope.
So I wonder if he was trying to make that kid the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Like,
maybe.
Because then you wouldn't have to worry about killing somebody from your own family.
Exactly.
That's true. Maybe that's what he was trying to avoid doing.
Like listen, kid, I'm going to kill you because I don't want to kill anybody in my family. Right. Sorry about it. So, I mean, that was interesting too. So, again, there's a couple pieces. You're like, well, they don't necessarily line up. My favorite, what would be my favorite? I mean, I think the little girl, Rebecca, at the beginning.
Yes.
With the little motorboat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was super creepy.
If you notice,
tell me.
They were enticed to the pool by an object. Mm-hmm. Just like Ray, when even though there was a cover over the pool, he saw a baseball.
Yeah.
And he went for it. Mm-hmm. That's like how they drew them in.
Yes. But in this case, that's okay. But in this case, Ray saw what could be his future. And he was like, ooh, I want some of that.
Yeah.
That's, pools. They bring the house value down. I'm just saying. I did kind of dug the whole, the pool maintenance guy. Like, oh yeah, this whole area is, connected to an aquifer and all these bunch of spas here back in the day. Yeah, where they're all these artisanal wells were like coming up. So I thought that was kind of cool. I could definitely see. It's so funny because James Wan always does that. He always like has a story that tells a story that tells a story, and he makes 20 films out of it. I wouldn't mind seeing the beforehand, the origins of this pool, or like what happened, because they showed a picture of all those nurses with like 6 of the heads circled. So I'm like super like, what happened? What were those stories? I would love to hear those stories. And like, was it a pool? Was it a lake?
And I don't know. The realtor made me laugh a lot. I like her.
Why? Because she was just so like oblivious.
Oh, she was just over the top. And then don't let the kids eat the cake because there's so much Captain Morgan in there.
She's just somebody who like has no real job and figures out I'm gonna just like live on my 3% commission I get from these things without doing any diligence, mind you.
Yeah, like people wouldn't know.
I mean, but again, this goes back to the thing. Is like, do we all forget that a girl existed?
Right.
Because that's the case, and you proved that it was like 12 families in a row that like somehow lost somebody and just moved away. Then there's got to be a more sinister global effect of like, oh yeah, nobody knows this person existed, but yet there was clippings because there was that family photo of Rebecca's parents in the sun without her in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it was like a mismatch. It's like I would love to know like what happens around.
Yeah. Maybe they had meant to make it look like that they were forgotten and just didn't really hit it on the head.
Yeah, because Eve was doing all that research. Yeah, because Eve was doing that research on Google search and clipping pictures of things, and she found all those instances of people who lived in the house before that always somebody went missing. So obviously it's not out of record. So it makes me think that people did know and just terrible things befalling people. It could be like Derry in It, where the people know people go missing, but yet everybody seems to forget that people go missing. So it could be like that.
True. That
Yeah.
one I have seen.
Aha!
Oh.
Only because we watched it for this show.
That's right. Did we watch
Did we
both?
watch the new one?
We watched the new one and the old one, I think. I know
Wow.
we watched part 1 and part 2, so that
Okay.
was the new one.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't even remember.
It's just like, really? Did we? Wow, that seems like a long. That's a long
It
set of
was a
movies.
long- It was.
Yeah, we've been doing this podcast for a while. I'm like, wait a minute, did we?
Did
We've
we?
been doing it for a hot minute. We need to keep better track, so we're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, boo. If it sounds
Yeah.
familiar, that just means we did it. You know, it's all good. So, Brooke, what could have made this film better for you?
A whole different movie.
Oh wow!
Let's work within the constraints
Yay!
of the cinema box. I mean, but what? How did it fall apart? You say you didn't like the family.
I didn't like anything about the movie. The movie is just like meh to me. The only reason why I'm rating it the way I'm rating it is because of the scene with the mother. That's the only part. That's the only reason why I'm rating it this.
All right. So you heard it here first. You have a 5-minute head start of what Brooke is gonna do.
Yeah. Dun, dun,
I'm just surprised. I mean, it's just I'm just surprised, Brooke. And you watched it twice. Why would you go through? Why would you go through that just terrible?
The first time I was like, it's a movie, and maybe I'll give it a second chance. So I gave it a second chance, and it's still
it was worse.
a terrible movie. Yes,
You're like, that's as bad as I thought it was.
But Carly, your friends love it. They was like, "Oh, it's a great movie." I'm like, "It's terrible."
That's my cousin, and it's not that I love the film. I just really liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't disappointing for me. I will tell you that somebody got a little schlocky at the end, like foreshadowing, super obvious.
Mhm.
Oh, I was diving before I could walk. You know, like my father made me deep dive bell diving. So we knew that was going to have something to do with it. I did like the garden hose effect.
Yes.
I thought that was kind of cool. But we knew that she was going to have to deep dive at some point. But some of at the end, when everybody was like, oh my God, okay, we've survived. Some of that kind of conversation, that dialogue was a little stilted and seemed a little strange. There was even a shot of Ray when they were trying to revive Elliot that it looked like he was smiling. That it looked like Ray was smiling. I was like, ooh, that's a terrible cut where it looks like you're happy. You should be more like, oh my God, my son's going to die. So I thought that was like a little disconcerting. Although I did like the actual sacrifice in the end. And I did like how it wrapped up where it's like kind of a guardianship. So I kind of dug that. That's a little bit different. Typically everybody raises the house to the ground and never returns.
Well, the pool.
Wait a minute. You liked that he sacrificed the sacrifice at the end? I thought that was sad. I was like, no.
Oh, no.
Well, it was him or it was the son.
No, yeah, exactly. Somebody had to. It's like until somebody got sacrificed, that the spirits would not go back asleep. So, yeah. So it was all about like they show the wish, they awake, and until that wish is fulfilled with a sacrifice, that spirit will just keep trying to take lives forever and ever and ever. Amen.
That's funny.
But maybe they need more priests to do a little, praying on that thing. But yeah, it's like, I would like to have a salt pool and just our aquifers, but it's not worth me trying to, get hurt or kill people at a pool party. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that, I can't wait any longer. I need to know.
Gotta hear
Brooke,
this.
Carly.
I gotta hear.
Carly.
No, Brooke. You set the
Go
precedent.
first.
You've set the stage of like, I'm only going to rate it this way because, and I can't wait another 2 minutes to find out.
This
So
is being nice, though. This is being nice.
All right, well,
Okay.
I want you to be nice. I want you to be realistic. I want you to be real. Keep it real.
Keep it real. Okay, if I'm keeping it real, I'm gonna rate it a 1.5 Marco Polo.
Ooh.
Oh.
What you should do is rate it 1 Marco and one
And
half
one half
polo.
polo.
Okay.
All adding
That's
up
fantastic.
to 1.5. How about you, Miss Carly Yates?
Well, we lost a cat, so it lost some points. So you know how I am. You know how I am.
Animals.
I heard you.
So I'm going to say a solid 3.5 baseball bats.
Well, it depends on which one. I mean, there's one that he dreams of hitting the long ball. There's
Oh
one where
no,
someone
this
gets
is at
beat.
the end. This is with
Okay,
Izzy.
all right.
Izzy and the
Okay,
baseball
Izzy
bat.
in a baseball bat. Okay, 3. Is that what I heard? A 3?
3.5.
3.5. Izzy's in a baseball bat. Okay.
Yeah. And it only
I
lost points because of the cat.
okay. All right. I mean, I'm not even going to give it much higher than that, even with the loss of a cat. I mean, animals in horror films never fare well. Church, I'm talking to you. Pet Cemetery. We know how it goes with them. So it's just nature of the beast, no pun intended. So I'm going to still give it 3.5 because I think that's where it fits in the scheme of things out of a 5 scale. Now, what do I give it, you ask? I have to look at my notes to see which one I want to pick because none of you picked anything. I'm going to give it 3. No, you know what? I'm going to give it lower. 3.25 Tamagamis, which we all know.
Yes.
Which we all know in this film means the deep water. So for all us, people who speak languages. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I will agree with Brooke. It wasn't the most spectacular film ever. Was it disappointing to me? No, I actually was pleasantly surprised once I got done watching it. So it was good, but it wasn't like on a par of some of the classics we've rated. So I'd hate to bump it just because I like it this second. So yeah, 3.25 from moi.
At the end when he looks over his shoulder and says, "Don't look back," to his kids.
Yeah, that was a highlight. You know what else was a highlight? And I didn't see it coming. I knew I should have seen it coming. Was when Izzy falls on the kitchen floor trying to call 911. Yeah, it seems like the more realistic stuff was like, it's just. And I think I think when Ray was following her around and popping up in different places it was really creepy, and it was really unsettling in the garage.
Yes,
like with Izzy in the final act, and so there was like it kind of took a very
out of the garage.
I don't know if the garage was actually locked. I think he just closed the door, but I think there was a lot of coolness around the possession factor.
Mm-hmm.
And like you couldn't leave the homestead factor. So there was some of that cool stuff too that I liked. So again, it was kind of, as Brooke said, kind of a mishmash of different things happening, but they did some things really well. And they were just kind of creepy. So not a lot of jump scares, but just like the black eyes and the practical effects of like the water coming up and the inkiness. And so, I mean, they other than the weird bloaty spirit monster, because I totally agree that was a miss. Whatever design effect house decided, we're going to do this one. Yeah, they botched.
You missed.
That was a swing and a miss. Ray Waller would tell you that was a swing and a miss. But
which
otherwise,
goes well
I
with
enjoyed
this film.
It does. It does. I try to keep things on point for you. Now, with that said, we're coming to the end of this lovely time together. So, who's next, and what we watching?
Carly.
No, it's not me. It's you.
Not. It's me.
It's you, man.
You. Oh snap! Okay, we're watching The Stranger.
Not to be confused with Strangers.
Yeah, not The Stranger.
Not Stranger. Right. This is The Stranger on
and
Hulu.
What's it on? On Hulu.
On Hulu. And just so I know for sure, because Brooke you've seen this, correct?
Yes.
Brooke already? Okay. Yes. So this is the one where there's like a Lyft driver or an Uber driver.
I don't even know if it's horror though.
It's okay. It looked like it was suspenseful. I mean, I'm all for it. I just want to make sure I'm watching the right movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the one where there's like a Uber driver.
What year is it from?
2014.
2014.
2014. All right.
I mean 2024. My bad.
Or 2024. Either way, I'm about it. I'm here
That's
for
a
it.
big difference.
I don't think it's horror. I don't think it's
From
horror.
the woman who picked the
Well,
film.
we'll find out.
Yeah, it's okay. We've done horror adjacent stuff before. It's okay. And I'm sure our audience will be.
It says horror. It says
Okay, there you go. The Stranger movie. Not even looking it up. Hey, what else you been watching, guys? As we come to a close, any good films to give our viewers that we haven't reviewed yet?
Oh,
What
I've
are we
been watching
watching?
House of the Dragon. So.
Oh, me too.
Oh yeah, the Black.
And as I
Phone.
was saying before, I watched Under Paris, which is
yes.
foreign French film dubbed into English with lots of sharks. So kind of like Jaws meets Deep Blue Sea, has that vibe to it. So I didn't hate it. It was kind of cool. I was kind of digging it. I watched that last night because I'd already watched this film. But with that said, this is where both of you say, "Chuck, give us final thoughts on this film." And I was like, "Yay, okay,
Yes.
I'll do that."
Yeah, please do that.
Okay. Okay,
Philip Parker says Hitman is good.
Okay.
Okay. That's nice to know.
Actually, I've been trying. I've been put.
horror, Philip.
It's new.
No, it's not. It's actually like
It's not
action
new?
comedy, but it looks
I think I
hilarious.
watched it.
It's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't got to it yet. But I will definitely put that on my list to dos. Give me 1 second, and he
Philip,
also
this
says,
is for you. This is for you. The backhand. The backhand.
Backhand?
The backhand for you for not picking a horror movie.
"Whoa,
Oh,
listen, we're a family show. I don't need that kind of violence in my life." Wait, all we do is watch
Yeah,
violence.
what's
I
fun?
want my violence in my movie, not with my co-host. I'm just saying. So
Understood.
closing into this thing, I mean, I will say again, it's that cool haunted house wish fulfillment trope where somebody's got to get got in order for you to get what you want. So I thought it was a cool premise. I think there was a couple misses with the monster, kind of that it thing in the bubbling, return. I think was kind of silly. But otherwise, I thought they was, it was like 85% there. So it definitely would have got you to second base if you were playing ball.
There you go.
Otherwise, like I said, it is brand new. We don't want to give away everything. I think we did pretty good with just giving you hints that's not going to ruin it for you. But yeah, I would give it a shot if you like that kind of movie. And so with that, I'm going to just give you all love.
Much love, much love.
And
I'm sure it's my pick. This pick.
I'm positive because we
It's on
go
my-
in
on my
alphabetical
list.
order
It's on my
Okay.
list.
by
Okay.
first names. Brooke, Carly,
Brooke, there's only 3 of us now, so it comes around quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, if there were 6 of us, you'd be like, "What? It's my turn again? It's been 6 months." But no, we're on top of it. It's going round
Thank
robin
you, Philip.
fast. Thank you. Appreciate that. So with that, ladies, I'm gonna bid you adieu. Thank you so much, Carly. Miss you, love you, mean it. Brooke, why do you got hate on my movies? That's what I'm saying. Talk to you later. Have a great week. And to everyone here, thank you so much for joining us again every Sunday. And just know, as always, we're here to scare you later.